Hi everyone, this is David from Databar, and I want to do a quick update from some of our most recent features. So some of the main areas of focus for us recently have been on usability and on data cleaning and processing tools. So if you click into enrichments, you'll see that we have a new feature which is called split. If you search split, which lets you split text into multiple columns. So for example, if you have first name, last name, in one column, you can split that text into two separate columns. And you can use different delimiters. So if you want to use a space, then you need to write it in this format where it's kind of quotation marks, space, quotation marks. For any other delimiters, if you want to use a comma to split text or a dash, then you can just type it in without the quotation marks. So if I'll type this in here, and I'll leave it as a space because I'm using spaces in here, I can save it, add, and now when I run this split text formula, it's going to split it up and return a JSON type column for me. And then I can extract specific values. So let's say I want to take out the first name, and that's usually the first one. Then I'll do first name and last name. And now I have two separate columns. Now the reason we did it this way in the JSON format is because sometimes you would have multiple values. So you would have like a David Abayev Jr., for example. And in that case, you would need, it would need to be a dynamic number of columns, so we put it into a single JSON. That's one. The second really cool feature is our new Excel formulas. So Excel formulas give you full Excel support inside Databar. If we open up the formulas button and then click on Excel formula, you can then enter full Excel formulas that reference columns in your table and perform specific operations. So if I type in the key, it'll show me some of the formulas that are available here. So one of the things that we can do is we can concatenate, we can do if formulas, we can do now formula to get specific data. So let's do for an if formula, let's say if column 1 equals David Abayev, then return hi David, else return by David. There we go. Save. And now I have a real-time formula which has full Excel support inside my spreadsheet. This equals David Abayev Jr., so it returned by David, but if I remove that Jr. and rerun this Excel formula, it's going to give me hi David. One of the things to keep in mind here with the formula is that you shouldn't enter the equal value as you would in Excel. Just type in the formula directly. You can use nested formulas if you need to. So like inside this if, I could use an or I can even use like a concatenate inside one of these spaces to combine multiple formulas in a single request. Next up, we have our de-duplication functionality. So many of you have mentioned that you would have a lot of similar data points in your spreadsheet. So let's say you have 5,000, 10,000 emails and you want to deduplicate them. Before that, we only had deduplication, which worked across across the whole table, across all columns. But recently, we rolled out this remove duplicates button, which will look at all rows in that specific column and remove duplicates. Please keep in mind that this is an irreversible action, so make sure that you're confident about the data that you're deduplicating. In this case, we just deduplicated it, and it left me one unique David Abayev, ABC, and one unique blank cell. We also now have and support full automatic deduplication. So if you're running any sort of automations, sending data in via webhook or from another table, you can turn on automatic deduplication, which will constantly check across specific columns if you want to do 1, 2, or you can do all columns at the same time, and not add any new rows that are duplicative to the data that you already have in your table. So let's say I have a webhook connected to this table. I set up this automatic deduplication, and every time a webhook gets sent into this table, and let's say if there's another David Abayev getting sent in, then it won't add that record to my table. Next up, we have groupings. So groupings is actually my favorite feature. Groupings let you group specific columns if you have many enrichments in a single table. This can be extremely powerful and very convenient. So let's say we have this, I'm going to remove these two columns and type in Databar.ai. Let's do a company enrichment. So let's say we have an enrichment which returns multiple columns of data. So let's say we use Owler, and Owler gives us the company name, description, logo, LinkedIn, number of employees, revenue, and funding history. In here we have 7, 8 columns. This can get pretty clumsy if you have 5, 6, 7 enrichments in a table. So we recently added this button, which will only be displayed on the leftmost column of the enrichment. And when you click into it, it will collapse all the columns into one. This way you can just run it directly in a single column, and whenever you need that data or whenever you want to read it, you can click on that button again and it'll expand the full data set. When you collapse it, it's going to show you the name of the enrichment. If you expand it, it's going to show you the individual columns. You can also reorder them, so when you have it collapse, let's say I want the logo to display always. When I collapse it, oh, for some reason it's not dragging for me. Okay, there we go. So if I want the logo to display, then I can just move that to be the first column in that group, and then that logo is always going to be the data point that's getting displayed in the collapsed state. Next up, we have our filters. So previously we had this views button, which let you filter your table by rows that had errors, successes, and no data in enrichment runs. We removed this button, so you will no longer see it, and this functionality has moved to the filters. So if you click on filters, you'll see there's a successful rows button. So if I click into that, it'll show me only this one. You'll see the rows with errors button, which will show rows that had errors. Currently I didn't have any, so it's not showing anything. And it's going to show me rows with no data, which is this ABC row, because we didn't get any data for that. So that's how the new views and filters work. Finally, we have 2 big updates, actually one smaller update and one really big one. So the smaller update is regarding our authorization section. We've made it prettier and more convenient for you to work with. So if you click into authorization, it expands. If you have a default API key connected to a specific API, then it'll always insert that one by default, and whenever you need to edit it, you can just click into this and edit it. This way it takes up less space, it's much more convenient, and we fixed any bugs that we found in that piece of functionality. And then the last one and big update, which a lot of you must have noticed, is our new AI researcher agent. So previously we had a single page agent, which let you pass in a company website column and then a mission, which would be paired with that website column and execute a specific mission. We deprecated that connector because it was returning errors and it was difficult to scale. So we now have one single AI researcher interface, which lets you type in a full mission with free text. It works pretty much the same. So this researcher actually browses multiple websites when it looks for data. It doesn't just go on a specific web page. It browses the web, it goes to Google, it goes to specific web pages in order to get your result. So let's say for Databar, I can ask it to get me the pricing system, if it's a SaaS, and most expensive plan price for this company. And I'm going to pass in Databar. Now, if I want my AI researcher to give me a structured response, there's a define response button right here, which I can use to tell it what kind of columns I want. So here I'll want it to give me a pricing system column and a most expensive plan column. There we go. Save and install. And now when I run this AI researcher, it's actually going to go and get me these data points. If I click into this, this was real time. This is for custom pricing. This is our enterprise plan. On the pricing system, we can see that it's a SaaS tiered subscription pricing with credit-based monthly refills and tiered feature access. Now I can actually get this into a separate column and have a structured data set out of this. Finally, we've added some extra hints and quick actions under the plus button. You'll notice that if you have any sort of LinkedIn columns, then we'll suggest LinkedIn. If you have any company columns, we'll suggest company data. If you have contacts in your table, we'll suggest contacts. This is our AI-powered support in here, which helps you pick enrichments and install enrichments quicker than ever. Once you click into this, let's say get emailed by LinkedIn, it'll open the corresponding enrichment. Usually it's going to be a waterfall, and that waterfall can then be installed with one click. This is powered by AI, and we plan on expanding a lot on this. So you'll see soon a magical button at the top right, which is going to be our AI agent, which will help you navigate Databar much easier. That's it for now. If you have any questions, let us know, and thank you for watching this video.